This is KCSN Northridge, home of the Old Time Radio Theatre, with your host, Harvey Tow. And now, here's Harvey.
Well, it's not the Harvey Tow radio show today. Sorry, folks, but it is the Harvey Tow radio show today. This is John Tefteller and the Good Old Days of Radio show, and it's my very great pleasure to reminisce a bit here, to go back to my sort of childhood with somebody who had great influence on my childhood, and that's Mr. Harvey Tow, who I knew way back then. Didn't know him personally way back then, although we did meet, but I knew him way back when as Cousin Zeno, when he was playing vintage radio shows on Los Angeles radio. So, without any further ado, welcome to the Good Old Days of Radio show, Mr. Harvey Tow.
Wow, what an intro.
Okay, well, that's good. We're starting out good then. All right, so let me just tell the audience a little bit. When I was much younger, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but by much younger, I mean like 12, 13, 14 years old. That's when I was first introduced to old-time radio. The very first ones I remember hearing were Frank Brzee with Roger Carroll on KMPC in Los Angeles, but not too long after that, somebody somewhere hipped me to the idea that there was this guy called Cousin Zeno on the radio, and he was playing vintage radio shows. So I started listening to Cousin Zeno. So Harvey, tell me, how did you get the name Cousin Zeno?
KPPC FM in Pasadena was an underground radio station. That's underground in quotes. It was kind of free-form radio. They pretty much did whatever they want, and it caught on like wildfire. Do you remember Joel Siegel?
I know the name, but I never met him or heard him.
All right, Joel at the time was obviously living in L.A., and he was doing two shows for KPPC, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. On Saturdays, I believe he was Uncle Noel. And on Sunday, I think he was Dr. Joel. So
okay. I missed both of those, but all right.
Yeah. I don't know why he did that, but I got to know him through a friend. And when KPPC was being fired en masse, Joel went along, with them, obviously. And I said to Joel, I says, who's going to do radio if you don't? He says, why don't you give them a poke? Give them a shot, see what they're going to do. I said, okay, this is the new regime that came in. And so I wrote a letter to Dick Moreland, who at that time was program director. And he invited me to come down, and we talked. And I met the station manager, Doug Cox. And Joel told me how much to ask in pay. I said, you can get paid for this stuff?
Yeah, I don't get paid for this stuff. You're lucky you got paid for this stuff. Okay.
Yeah, this is real radio.
Ooh.
So Joel told me to throw a certain number at them, which I did, and they accepted.
Okay.
Well,
now, how old were you at this point?
Oh, gee, this was 1971, I think.
Okay.
So I was probably about 32, 33 years old.
Okay. Well, in 1971, I was about 13. So, yeah. Okay.
So anyway, Joel expected them to throw me out, figuring the money I asked for was insane.
But they gave it to you.
Yeah, I don't know what Joel was earning, but whatever it wasn't what I was asking for.
Okay.
So long story short, like I said, he was Uncle Noel and Dr. Joel or whatever it was. So I decided, well, I'll become something too, just to carry on that theme. And I was art directing some magazines at the time, and one of them was an old girly magazine when I was first beginning. So the pseudonym one of the editors gave me at that time for art director was Zeno Zimmerman.
Okay.
I love alliteration, so it stuck. So I became Cousin Zeno.
Okay.
And if you recall, Cousin Zeno was a character. He was this Raymond type character, like from Inner Sanctum. And one of the guys I worked with, who was an editor, would write dialogue for me, and I would act out his script. Acting, and that's in quotes. I wasn't very good at it. So Mike was his name, my friend, the editor. So Mike one day decided he had enough writing, and I was on my own. I'm on my own. I'm flying solo. So I became Harvey Tow.
Okay, so Cousin Zeno went away, and Harvey Tow became your real name and your radio name after that.
Yeah, I think I used the excuse for becoming Harvey Tow was that Cousin Zeno had mellowed out from listening to too many radio soap operas.
Okay. All right. Well, now that I have that clear in my mind, because I don't know, all my memory just says I heard you as Cousin Zeno. I do not remember hearing you as Harvey Tow. I remember meeting you as Harvey Tow at Spurdvac or PPB or somewhere like that.
Yeah, Spurdvac.
Okay. But I don't remember you on the radio as Harvey Tow. My memory is Cousin Zeno. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're doing a little nostalgia here for those people who grew up in the Los Angeles area or were living in the Los Angeles area, listening to what was becoming very quickly a whole series of people who were broadcasting vintage radio shows in the 1970s. There wasn't just you. It was Bob Lyons and Barbara Sunday and Frank Brzee and Jay Lacey, I believe, is another name.
That's right. Yeah, he was on on Coenga. There was a radio station. I forgot the name of it.
Well, I believe he was at the official communist station, KPFK.
That's the station.
Yeah, that's it. Where Patty Hearst hid out during that whole crazy stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I went in there one day and pitched him for a show. And, and they said, sure, we'll do it. I said, all I want from you is tapes so I can transfer, recordings. And they didn't want to let go of any tapes.
You wanted tapes of what from them?
No, just blank tapes.
Oh, so blank tape. Okay. Yeah. Well, they ran a very cheap place there, very cheap budget, very low budget communist operation.
I even tried to bargain for a tank of gas. That's true.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, so now let's back up a little bit. We've gotten this part of it out of the way, so I know where I fit in with all of this. Tell me about basically your life before vintage radio and how you got into collecting vintage radio shows and all of that stuff. Let's have some history of Harvey.
Okay, I started collecting sometime in the mid-'60s.
Now, that's very early for people. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for people listening to this who don't realize this, in the mid-'60s, very few people were collecting vintage radio shows. I think at that point it would have been Frank Brzee, you, and Marty Halpern, and I don't know who else unless you do.
Well, later on, of course, I met several people, but I was an audiophile. I was a stereo nut. And I used to subscribe to a couple stereo magazines. And in the back, there were ads for sale for this electronic equipment. And one guy was selling old radio shows on tape.
Right.
And I thought, wait a minute. I used to listen to radio when I was a kid. I grew up in the 40s and 50s. And, we didn't have television, so I listened to radio. All kinds of radio. So I thought, wow, I hadn't thought about radio. So I sent away for a reel of tape from a collector, Don Maris, Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay, don't know him, but hey, must have been one of the really early ones.
Yeah, so my first reel was all quarter track stuff, 6 hours and this and that. Anyway, so I'm playing it, and I thought, boy, the sound is kind of crummy. Some some were listenable, and I thought, what's going on here? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this guy's in Norman, Oklahoma. I'm in North Hollywood, basically. This is the land of where it all started and where it all happened. So I started searching out local old show collectors. And I hit upon this one little nostalgia shop, and they gave me the name of this guy who also was in there looking at one time for old radio programs. And his name was Ron Wolf.
Oh, well, Ron, yes, a longtime friend of mine as well. I got to get him on this show.
Yeah, Ron is a super nice guy. So I met him. I gave him a call. We talked, and we swapped a couple of tapes. I think I had one tape.
Okay.
Which, like I said, was a pretty crummy sound. And then Ron introduced me to a guy named Ken Greenwald.
Aha, there's Ken again. Okay.
Yeah, down at PPB.
Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters.
Yeah, this is right after the 1971 earthquake.
Okay.
And it was a mess down there.
Yes, I was not there at that time, but I've heard stories. But go ahead, tell us what it was like, because just to give them a little bit of background, Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters had a very large collection of radio transcription discs and original master tapes from KNX or CBS in Los Angeles, along with a bunch of other stuff. And in 1971, when that earthquake struck, things happened. Tell us about those things.
Yeah, well, everything, all the discs were stacked on shelves. You've seen the type of commercial shelves. They're made of metal. They were not attached to the floor.
Right.
So they fell over
with all the discs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So when I got there, it was in the midst of cleanup. But my heart sank down to my toes. I thought, oh my God, all these precious discs. Some obviously were destroyed. So I became one of the guys. That's when I met Marty Halperin, of course. And we talked for a while, and he says, how would you like to come in and, help us? I says, you got me. And that's, I must have been there, several Saturdays. Not for that long a period, just a few months, I guess. I would go down there when I could, but usually on a Saturday. I remember getting into the elevator in the bank and riding down to the basement, which is where all the fun was. So that's when I met Ken Greenwald, who was doing shtick. He was always doing something funny. And like I said, Ron, and, I became one of the crew.
Yep. Well, I didn't come in there until about 1975, 76. So I didn't know you at that point, but yeah.
Yeah. At that time also, I had come across my Lux Radio rehearsals.
Okay. Well, we're going to feature one of those today on the program. So I guess now's as good a time as any for you to tell the story of how you came across those. And then maybe we'll go into it and then come back at the end of it and talk more about what happened with you after that.
All right. That was kind of interesting. Right now, my wife and I were renting a house in Studio City. I used to walk around the neighborhood with my daughter. And one day we came across this man, and we got to talking with him. He lived a few houses away. One thing led to another, and I asked him I knew he was retired. I said, what are you retired from? He says, I was an engineer. I said, oh, really? What kind? He says, radio. And my ears immediately shot up. This is about 1970. Yeah, this was 1970. He said, well, I did all the engineering for Lux Radio Theatre. I thought, uh-oh. I says, please, have you got anything from that time? He says, your timing is perfect. I was just getting ready to throw away my discs.
Yeah, there we go. That's typical. Getting ready to throw away the discs. Okay.
His name was Hank Whitaker. He was the engineer. He says, these discs are all rehearsal discs, one of a kind. I said, oh my God. So he says, do you want them? They're yours. I says, oh boy. So I schlepped them over to my house, and he also gave me a turntable, a 16-inch turntable. So I took that and patched it into my system, and it worked. I don't know, to this day, I never took account of how many I had. Probably, I'm guessing maybe 100 of them.
Okay. Where are they now?
I've got them. I've still got most of them.
Okay.
Some are broken. But I still have them. And I think I've transferred them all to tape.
Hope so.
At that time. And then I took the tapes, of course, and transferred them to digital. And also Marty Halprin knew of it because obviously I told him. And he took a stack and transferred those. And I got a dub of those also on tape. Now his transfers, I think, were a little bit better than mine because he was able to do a little enhancing just to sharpen them up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've had those discs, 55 years now. Studio City was alive with personalities. Jay Novello, does that ring a bell?
Sure. He was at Spurtvac a number of times.
Yeah. Oh, I did not know that. Anyway, Jay lived about 2 blocks from me.
Okay.
And I saw him walking one day, and again, I was with my daughter, and we got to talking. And of course, this time I says, have you got anything? And I said, and he looked at me, he says, I have a few things. Would you like to see them? I said, sure. He says, come on. And we walked over to his house. He and I sat down in the living room. His wife invited my daughter, Fawn, to come to the kitchen to help bake cookies. Now, here I am, one-on-one with Jay Novello. I wish I had a camera, but I never thought of it. Anyway.
Why don't you tell the younger listeners out there who Jay Novello was?
Aside from being on radio quite a bit, he acted also on television. And the role I remember him best for, I believe, was on The Untouchables as Willie the Actor Sutton, the man who loved to rob banks because that's where the money was.
Okay, yeah, because I have a vast amount of much younger listeners to this podcast, and I always have to stop people, including myself, and make sure that we identify who some of these people are that we're talking about, because you know who Jay Novello is, and I know who Jay Novello is, but a lot of people would go, who, what are they talking about? And it will lose their interest if we don't kind of explain it a little bit as we go along. Yeah.
Jay was a super nice man. Anyway, he gave me a shopping bag with some stuff and one disc from I Love a Mystery, which of course I transferred. I think it was just a clip. It was only 15 minutes, and it was in the middle of some story. I have the story. I used to know it anyway. So I made the transfer and gave him a copy on cassette, along with other stuff. He didn't have a lot of material there, but I believe he was Jack Packard on I Love a Mystery at that particular time.
Yeah, that was before the later run. That was the earlier run from the late 30s and early 40s, right?
Yeah, you know that better than yours truly.
Yeah, well, Russell Thorson was Jack Packard in the later run, along with Tony Randall and one other person whose name escapes me at the moment. Yeah,
so anyway, I used to see him walking around the neighborhood. Very nice man. And I bumped into, I've seen several. Larry Dobkin. I saw him shopping one day. This was in the mid-'70s. And I talked with him. And like an idiot, I did not ask him if he had any material.
Well, but just so our listeners can understand this, if you were living in Southern California, particularly the Hollywood area, Studio City, Beverly Hills, anywhere in that neighborhood, during that period, the 1970s into the 80s, many of the great radio voices of the past lived there and were simply walking around in grocery stores and markets and wherever. And if you could recognize who they were, you could go and talk to them, and they were more than willing to talk to you about their days in radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got that disc I did that Jay had. I've got it up here now. You Can't Pin a Murder on Nevada.
Okay. And it's one segment from that series, which was probably like 10 chapters or something.
Yeah, it's 11 minutes and some change.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's better than nothing, because I don't think that exists as an entire series anywhere. So you've got a piece of one.
Yeah, this is from May. This is from May of 1944.
Yep. Okay. Is it glass?
No, it was not.
Okay,
no.
Good. Then it will survive even if you drop it.
Well, to survive on my computer and and the backups.
Yeah, okay. Well, watch that computer, because those backups fail, so you have to keep making new backups. And...
Oh yeah, I'm on my second generation of backups.
Okay. All right. So since we were talking about the Lux Radio Theaters, the ones that Harvey was able to save from this gentleman, the 100 or so recordings, they are all rehearsals, which is really unique, because we know from studying and from talking to people that were involved that many of the rehearsals were recorded back during those times, but not many of them survive. What we mostly have are the actual programs as they were aired, because they tended to keep those rather than the rehearsal discs, which weren't really good for much of anything other than for the producer or director to listen to see how the show was coming out or whatever they were doing with it. So these Lux Radio Theaters are quite unique to have rehearsals from them. And so our featured show for today, we picked one from your selection, is the Pied Piper. Now, that's a Lux Radio Theater from November 5th, 1944, and you have the full rehearsal, which we're going to play on the podcast today. It stars the Wizard of Oz himself, Frank Morgan. Now, he's not playing the Wizard of Oz. I just said that because that's where most people would know him as the Wizard of Oz, Frank Morgan. It's it's not a comedy, or it's not even anything particularly lighthearted, but it's a really interesting story about his character leading Nazi children from occupied France to safety. So it has a wartime theme. It was during the World War II, and Adolf Hitler was still alive and unfortunately well and doing evil things. And so the American radio networks would come up with things like this to keep rallying the troops, so to speak, in America to be anti-Hitler and to try to solve that particular major problem worldwide. So anyway, it's an interesting story. You're going to hear the actual original rehearsal, complete with any kind of gaffes or pauses or instructions from the director. So it's going to be a pretty nice thing to get to hear some 70 years later. We're going to do that right now. Before we do that, do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, the rehearsals were done on Sunday night. The actual broadcast was a day later on Monday. You'll also hear Jay Novello in this production.
Okay, good. All right, so we're going to play the show, and then we're going to come back and talk to Harvey some more. And so right now, here is Lux Radio Theater, The Pied Piper.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theatre brings you The Pied Piper, starring Frank Morgan, Margaret O'Brien, and Signa Hasso. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. On the eve of a great national election, I believe there's one thing on which we all agree. That is, that the hope of the world tomorrow rests on the children of today. We can vote and make the laws, and we can set up the machinery, but it is the young people, those who have escaped the ravages and disillusionment of war, who will make this tired old world a better place in which to live. Tonight's story on the Lux Radio Theatre, The Pied Piper, a hit picture from 20th Century Fox, tells how a handful of youngsters, trapped by the Nazi invasion of France in 1940, became attached to an amazing old gentleman who previously felt that smart children just don't smart in the right places. That amazing old gentleman in our cast tonight is Frank Morgan, who is just now making a new Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, Hold High the Torch. Tonight he's supported by Sweden's distinguished actress, Signe Hasso. And one of the children whom he saves for posterity is 7-year-old Margaret O'Brien, who has recently completed her Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture in Technicolor, Meet Me in St. Louis. Young as she is, Margaret O'Brien is already a veteran of the Lux Radio Theatre, having captured all our hearts last season in Lost Angel. I said then, and I repeat now, that I've been watching stars on stage and screen for half a century, and I've never seen a finer emotional actress. In the very matter of memorizing her lines, which Margaret has done for tonight's play, you have evidence of her extraordinary capabilities. And speaking of children and the reading of lines, I have in my hand a letter that I wish you all could see. It's written not only in pencil, but also in Braille, the international language of the blind. And it comes from a group of sight-troubled children at a school in Minnesota. The last 2 lines say, "Every Monday evening we listen to your Lux Radio Theatre and like it very much. We also use Lux toilet soap and think it is very good." I believe that's the first time Lux toilet soap has ever been praised in Braille. And if those children, if they're listening tonight, I send our warmest thanks and hope our Lux Radio Theatre continues to bring them happiness. And now it's curtain time again, and we're ready for the first act of The Pied Piper, starring Frank Morgan as Mr. Howard, Margaret O'Brien as Sheila, and Signe Hasso as Nicole. This is the story of an English gentleman named Mr. Howard, who became the father of 6 children, all in the course of a few days. It sounds a bit incredible, but it's even more incredible when you take into account the fact that Mr. Howard didn't even like children.
No. It's not that I dislike children. I assure you that I've never disliked children. It's simply that they make me feel uncomfortable. I have no manner with them, if you know what I mean. Children are too bright. It was in the summer of 1940 that I first met little Sheila Cavanaugh and her brother Ronnie. They were staying at the same inn that I was in France, a quiet little place at the foot of the Alps near Switzerland. I'd been fishing there for a few days. Rather fair luck, too. I remember I came back to the inn one evening at sundown with my catch. The children were reading in the lounge, and Madame Picard was, as always, standing in back of the little hotel desk.
Ah, Monsieur Howard, you have good luck today, yes?
Yes, here you are, Madame, 2 very fine trout. One for me and one for you, for supper.
Monsieur, what an accomplishment. 2 of them.
Yeah.
Look, children, are they not beautiful?
Yeah.
My father caught 5 today.
Oh, did he? Probably fishing with worms.
Oh, no, sir. He was fishing with an artificial fly. Yesterday he caught 10.
Oh, really? Is that so?
Uh-oh. But, children, your father is such a young man. Monsieur Howard, you must be tired. Sit down, rest. I will take the fish to Emily in the kitchen.
Thank you, Madame.
Mr. Howard,
What do you want?
I've just been doing my lessons. Will you help me, Mr. Howard?
Help you? Young woman, is this regarded as ethical?
Sir? Oh, it's quite all right, Mr. Howard.
Yeah.
Everyone helps Sheila.
Oh.
You see, I have to name 5 states in the United States, and the only one I can think of is Texas.
Texas, eh? Well, now, let's see. Texas, yes. And then there's California.
That's right, California.
And Virginia. Virginian cigarettes, you know.
Virginia.
Yes, and, Rochester.
Rochester? Rochester's in the state, Mr. Howard.
Really? Then may I ask what it is?
Rochester's a city.
It may very well be a city, madam. I don't deny that. I only contend that it is also a state. A state somewhat north, a bit to the northeast of the New England colony.
But it's not, Mr. Howard. It's just a city, and that's all.
It's a city in the state of New York.
Did anyone ask you?
No, sir.
Then you'll be doing me a great favor by keeping your irresponsible conjectures to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, Daddy.
Evening, Mr. Howard.
Oh, hello,
dear.
Dad.
Hello, son. Anybody tried the wireless this evening? We ought to be able to get some English news if Berlin hasn't jammed it.
Daddy, is Rochester in the United States a city or a state?
Rochester? Rochester's a city, of course. Why?
Mr. Kavanaugh, have you any corroboration for that reckless statement? Or is that simply your offhand opinion?
I'm afraid I don't quite understand, sir.
Mr. Howard told Sheila that Rochester is a state.
Well, I must admit I've never heard the question raised before, but I really don't believe it is.
And what would you say, sir, if I informed you that I myself have visited the state of Rochester?
In that case, naturally, I'd be compelled to admit that you were right, sir.
Listen, Daddy. Listen, I hear planes. Listen.
Yes. Quite a few, I imagine.
They're German, Dad. They're Heinkel's.
You can tell by the motors.
Ronald, those planes again.
Yes, dear.
They're German, Mother. I can tell.
I heard them pass this afternoon. Now they're coming back. Where could they have been, Ronald?
I don't know. I can't understand it.
The fighting is all up north, in Belgium.
Yes, unless things are worse than we've heard.
Is the wireless working? Is there any news, monsieur?
There ought to be. It's just about time.
Twice they passed today, very high. Where are they going, and where?
Here we are. I've got it.
This is the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Company, London calling.
It would be idle to deny that Britain today faces a dark hour. The enemy continues to advance. More Channel ports, French as well as Belgian, are now under German occupation. And under such circumstances, we must be prepared to face any eventuality, even invasion. In this hour of darkness, let Englishmen, wherever they may be, in whatever lands beyond the sea, hear again by transcription the words of the Prime Minister before the House of Commons this morning. And be of good heart.
We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches, on the landing grounds, in the fields, in the streets, and on the hills. We shall never surrender. And even if, which I do not for one moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, will carry on the struggle until in God's good time, the new world, with all its power and might, sets forth to the liberation and rescue of the old.
One moment, please.
Ronald, turn it off. Ronald.
It is worse than we thought.
Yes, but we're well out of it here, eh, Mr. Hard? They will never fight this far south. We could hide out here for years, and for you and me, at our age, Monsieur Hard, that's a very comforting thought.
Have you finished?
Yes, monsieur.
Then allow me to inform you, sir, that if ever again you address one word to me, I shall take the greatest of pleasure in thrashing you within an inch of your life, regardless of your age.
Monsieur.
Madame Picard, there's a train for Paris at 9 o'clock, isn't there?
Why, yes, monsieur.
I shall be taking it. Please arrange with the station master for my reservation to London by way of Paris and Saint-Malo.
But, monsieur, you have only been here 3 days.
3 days of which I am heartily ashamed. I'll pack my things at once.
Mr. Howard,
Yes?
I hope you're not being hasty because of anything this man has said. I can assure you that no one here believes for 1 second that you're here for any but the best of reasons.
No, I'm here because I'm a selfish and pig-headed old man. I offered my services to every department of the government in London. I'm not without experience, you understand, but I was not needed. I was too old. In all of London, I was taken seriously by but one man, my vicar. He suggested to me that I knit for the soldiers. I'm afraid that I took some exception to his well-meant suggestion, but to run away like a sulky child was wrong, and I'm deeply ashamed of myself.
But that's not my point, sir. As you say yourself, you're not young, so...
There is no other point. Young or old, an Englishman's place at a time like this is in England. And if the trains are running, I shall be there in 18 hours. To knit. An hour later, I was in my room still packing when Mrs. Cavanaugh asked to see me. She seemed quite strained, nervous.
Mr. Howard, do you know what my husband does?
No, I can't say that I do.
He is an official of the League of Nations at Geneva.
Uh-huh.
And in Geneva, they think that Switzerland is very likely to be invaded next.
Do they really?
That's where we're going tonight. Back to Geneva.
But is that very wise if there's danger there?
That's not what matters, Mr. Howard. It happens to be his post of duty.
I see.
But if Hitler does come, there won't be much food. There never is under him.
Filthy little gutter snipe.
I'm not afraid for myself nor for my husband. It's the children we're thinking of.
Oh, yes?
Mr. Howard, would you take them with you back to England?
Do what? Would I do what?
It would only be to Plymouth. My sister would meet you there with a car, and I know it's asking an awful lot, but
You mean that girl, too?
Oh, please. She didn't mean to be rude. She's really a very good child, and she'll behave, I promise you.
Mrs. Cavanaugh,
Please.
No. It's impossible. I'm sorry, but it's out of the question, really. I couldn't. I simply couldn't. That night, I left for Paris with Sheila Cavanaugh and her brother Ronnie.
Are we taking the train, Mr. Howard? Of course we are.
Yes, we are.
And will we sleep on the train, will we?
I expect so, yes.
He won't.
What's that?
He won't sleep on the train.
What do you mean? Why won't he?
'Cause he always gets sick on the train. Sick right on the floor. I don't either. You do. I don't. Now, Ronnie, of course you do. I do not.
No. Please, let's not dispute the fact. Time will tell us who is correct, I'm afraid. The argument was settled an hour after we boarded the train. Ronnie was quite sick. With the kind aid of a French lady on the train, I took care of Ronnie as best I could. The French lady had a child of her own. She seemed to understand these things.
Are you comfortable, mon petit?
Oh, oui, madame.
You speak French, yes?
Madame, what seems to be the trouble with him?
He is sick, monsieur.
Yes, that I understand.
I told you he'd be sick.
Quiet, you, quiet.
It is train sickness, monsieur. But beside, he has fever.
Fever?
Maybe he has eaten something. Maybe he has been too hot in a draft. That is the way it is with children.
Does he need a doctor?
No. If he can rest a little while, keep warm, he will be all right soon.
I see. Well, Sheila, how are you?
Oh, very fit, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Where is little Rose? Rose, viens ici.
Oui, ma tante.
Récitez pour le petit garçon. Monsieur, Rose will recite for your sick little boy. He will enjoy it.
Well, thank you. How do you do, Rose?
Comment allez-vous, monsieur?
Alors, Rose, récitez.
Ma grande tante demeurait tout dans une maison avec une cerisier, avec une petite souris. Mr. Howard, why are we stopping here?
I don't know, but I shall certainly find out. Now, don't move. I'll be right back. My good man.
But, monsieur...
I want to know when the next train leaves for Paris.
To Paris? There is no more trains to Paris, monsieur. No trains to the north at all.
But I hold tickets. I shall report you to the management.
Monsieur, do you not understand? The Germans have crossed the Marne. The whole front is breaking. Maybe the trains will never run again.
Never, but I have 2 small children.
At your age, monsieur, that is undoubtedly magnificent. But if this is a contest, I have 9.
Now look here.
Mr. Howard, quick.
Sheila, I told you to stay on the train.
Listen, there's a bus outside to shot.
Shot? Why shot?
And then there's a train near to San Mello. The chef de gare just told me.
Well, then let's catch it by all means. Come along. Well, this was a bit of luck, all right. I must say, Sheila, this bus idea was very clever of you. Very clever indeed.
Thank you, sir.
I expect that if you could break yourself of a certain insufferable pig-headedness, you'd be almost bearable. Are you comfortable, Ronnie?
Yes, sir. Comment allez-vous, monsieur?
Well, little Rose. So you caught the bus, too, eh? Fine. And where's your mother, little Rose?
That wasn't her mother. That was her aunt.
Well, where's her aunt? Good heavens, did we leave her behind?
Yes, Mr. Howard.
What is this?
Don Marie de Papier.
What are you muttering to her?
I'm asking her for a letter her aunt gave her. What? Here, Mr. Howard, there's something written on it.
Henri Tenoir, Dickens Hotel, Russell Square, London. I don't understand. Who is this Henri Tenoir?
That's Rose's father. He's a waiter.
But of what possible interest could his address be to... Oh, so that's it. I'm to burden myself with another female child.
But, Mr. Howard, they haven't any house. The Germans burned it down, and they haven't anywhere to go at all. Don't you see?
Yeah. Come one, come all, eh, woman?
But you wouldn't want them caught by the Germans, would you?
That is not the point.
Oh, Flurry Paolo. Mr. Howard, I rather like her. Don't you see? Rose can take care of Ronnie, and I can take care of her, so you have no bother.
That's all very neatly arranged, eh? Well, perhaps I have something to say on the subject. I do not propose to become the Mecca of every unfortunate child in France.
No, sir.
When we get the shot, I shall turn her over to the authorities and leave it to them to get her back to her aunt.
Yes, sir.
It's the only intelligent way to deal with such situations.
Yes, sir. Ronnie, would you tell Rose what Mr. Howard is going to do?
All right. Rose. Rose.
Yes, but just a moment.
Yes, sir?
What was the name of that hotel?
The Dickens Hotel, sir.
I never heard of it in my life. But I imagine we'll be able to find it.
Oh, Mr. Howard.
Oh, thank you, sir.
We were about 40 miles from Chartres when the bus stopped to repair a tire. It was a lovely day. There was a stream just off the road where we sat down to have our lunch under the trees. And then the planes came. German planes. They dropped out of the sky, swarmed down toward the road and the bus. It didn't seem possible that they were trying to kill us. Are we all right? Sheila, Rose.
Yes, sir.
I'm going back to the bus to see if I can get our bags. And children, while I'm gone, I want you to promise me don't look up that way. You won't now, will you? You stay right here now.
Ronnie, I'm going to look. Don't, Ronnie.
Sheila, look. There's dead people there. Dead people.
We were still there on the road when night came, and I herded the 3 children into a deserted old barn to sleep. But then I noticed that there were no longer 3 children. There were 4. The 4th was a boy with a pale, thin face and the dull, glazed eyes of a child in terror. He couldn't seem to talk. He only repeated one phrase over and over.
Les Amants.
This child, is he with us now?
Yes, sir. We've brought him in, sir. Les Amants. He can't talk, Mr. Howard. That's all he says. Les Amants. The Germans.
Who is he?
His name is Pierre.
How did you learn that?
He told us.
But he can't talk.
No, sir. May we speak to you privately, sir?
Well, yes, of course.
He was in the bus. Didn't you see him? The dead people, sir. They were his father and mother.
I see.
He can't speak, and I don't think he can hear either.
I see. Well, here, lad. Let me see you. Look up here.
Les Amants. Les Amants.
Yes, my boy. We'll take care of you. There's nothing to fear now, my boy.
Mr. Howard.
Yes, Sheila.
I can't go to sleep.
Oh, but you must try.
Yes. Mr. Howard, I'm sorry I was rude the other night about Rochester.
Oh, well, now, that's quite all right. It doesn't matter in the least.
I was wrong, you know.
No, not at all. I may very well have been wrong myself. There's so many of those American states. Kansas, massive... What's that Indian state?
Massachusetts?
Yes, Massachusetts, that's it. Seemed very likely there might be another named Rochester. No reason why not, you know.
Oh, yes. I remember it very well now.
You do?
Oh, yes, indeed. A very important industrial state.
Well, I'm not such an old fuddy-duddy after all, eh?
I should say not.
Yeah, my memory may have gone a bit ragged here and there, but when it comes to geography, you'll generally find I'm pretty good.
Oh, I can see that, sir.
Well, that's very decent of you to acknowledge it, too.
Thank you, Mr. Howard.
Well, good night, my girl.
Good night, Mr. Howard. Rochester.
In a few minutes, Mr. DeMille and our stars will bring us Act Two of The Pied Piper. But now, there's quite a crowd outside of Grauman's Chinese Theater here in Hollywood. A preview of an important new picture has just ended. People are watching their favorite stars coming out of the theater.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Just look at that white dress with the sequins. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, there goes Barbara Stanwyck and Claudette Colbert. And, oh, my goodness, if that isn't Sonia Henney.
And later, on their way home...
Oh, aren't they the glamorous people, though? They must have to spend simply hours every day on beauty care. Oh, they don't, though. Why, they're such busy people, they don't have time to fuss for hours. Why, Janie, just imagine. They use the same quick, easy care I do. Why, what do you mean, Sue? Why, Lux toilet soap. Active lather facial, the same kind the screen stars take. The stars use Lux soap in their studio dressing rooms, and they use it at home, too.
And that's a fact. 9 out of 10 famous screen stars use Lux toilet soap regularly. Lux Soap Beauty Care is the Hollywood way to a lovelier complexion. Recent tests proved that actually 3 out of 4 complexions became smoother and softer with this daily active lather care. It's true that screen stars haven't the time for elaborate daily complexion care, yet they can't take chances with complexion beauty, not for a minute. Here's what lovely young Teresa Wright says about it.
A Lux girl? Indeed I am. These beauty facials do wonders for my skin. Here's all I do. Cover my face generously with a rich Lux soap lather, work it in thoroughly. Then I rinse with warm water, splash on cold, and pat with a towel to dry. Makes my skin feel so soft and smooth.
Why not try this famous Hollywood complexion care? Get some Lux toilet soap tomorrow. Use it every day for the next few weeks. Then see if you're not delighted with the way the smooth, luxurious lather cares for your skin. Lux soap facials every day help skin to be fresher, lovelier, more appealing. We pause now for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Act Two of The Pied Piper, starring Frank Morgan as Mr. Howard, Margaret O'Brien as Sheila, and Senior Hasso as Nicole. As the Pied Piper of old led his children to a happy land beyond the mountain, so our piper, Mr. Howard, tried to lead his children beyond the sea, to security, to safety, to England.
It took us 3 days to reach Chartres. I remembered then that I had a friend there, a young lady named Nicole Rougeron, whom I had met on a vacation in St. Moritz. I decided I would appeal to her for help, but I had to warn the children to be careful. Here. Now, no excitement, please. We're in a very unpleasant situation. First, no more English, you understand? If any of us is heard speaking English, well, we'd be really in for it. You understand that now, don't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sheila?
Oui, monsieur.
Yes, that's it. Speak French.
We may add vous, monsieur.
No, not to me.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Well, now, I suggest that we play a little game. I shall be, or rather I shall pretend to be, very old and stone deaf. Can't hear a blasted word spoken to me, eh?
Oh, good. And a little crazy, too.
Crazy?
Just a little, please.
Yes, well, that might not be bad at that. Mouth open sort of thing, you mean. Might be very good indeed. I might babble a bit, too, you know.
Oh, no, Mr. Howard.
No?
I think that might be a little too much.
Oh, overdoing it, eh? I thought it was rather good. Stop that now. Now, this is serious business. Very serious business. Come along now. We'll try to find my friend, Mademoiselle Nicole.
Monsieur Howard. Oh, monsieur.
You remember me, mademoiselle?
But naturally, monsieur. Come in, please, quickly.
Well, I'm not alone.
Come in, and the little ones, too, please.
Well, come on in, children.
Yes, sir.
Nicole, qu'est-ce que c'est? Maman, you remember Monsieur Howard last year at St. Moritz? Monsieur Howard.
Yes. Madame, I am happy to...
Please. You speak English. Close the door.
Oh.
Come inside. To speak English today is not safe. Not safe for any of us.
I know, madame, and I have no wish
No,
to...
please. We must be careful. That is all. Our friends are still our friends, regardless.
That's very kind of you, madame.
But, monsieur, the children, you did not have them last year.
Madame, some of them I did not have 24 hours ago. We're on our way to England. Allow me to introduce them. Madame Rougeron, Mademoiselle Nicole Rougeron. This is Sheila, a very fine girl. And this is her brother, Ronnie. This is Rose, this is Pierre, and this is... Who is this? What? Where did you come from? I've never seen this one in my life. Sheila.
Yes, sir.
When did he join us?
Well, he's been with us off and on since yesterday.
I see.
You mean, monsieur, you don't know who he is?
No, but on this trip that doesn't seem to be necessary. Boy, where did you spring from? Come on, speak up.
Ik spreek geen Engels, meneer.
That is Dutch.
His name is Willen, not William, Willen.
Yes? How do you know that, Sheila?
He told us.
Listen to this, mademoiselle. Sheila, do you speak Dutch?
Oh, no, sir.
Do you understand Dutch?
No, sir.
But he told you.
Yes, sir.
Then in what language did he tell you?
In no language. He just told us.
Well, I suppose there must be some normal explanation for this system of communication. Very well, Willem. We'll do what we can for you.
Of course. The poor little ones. I wonder if they would like something to eat.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Oh, of course they would. Just come with me. You like it?
Yes, they understand that all right, too. I am occasionally seized with the conviction that I am convoying guinea pigs.
Monsieur Howard, you understand that you are in great danger here?
I do, but I promise that I shan't involve you and your mother. In just a few minutes, when I've rested a bit, we'll be on our way. But I was hoping to see Colonel Rougeron also.
We have not heard from my father for several months. At that time, he was still with his regiment before Metz.
Oh. You have my sympathy, mademoiselle. I understand. You see, I, too, have suffered a loss. You remember my son, John?
John? Oh, yes, but...
Well, I regret to inform you that he was killed. He was in the RAF, you know. Shot down over Helgoland 2 months ago. Gave a very decent account of himself, I understand, before they got him.
Then he's dead. Excuse me, please.
Mademoiselle Nicole was very kind. She helped us arrange for tickets on the train, and when we left Chartres, she even came along with us. May I ask now where we're bound?
To the Channel, monsieur, to the Brittany coast. There is someone there that I know might help.
But was this necessary for you, this long, not very safe trip?
Even if someone else could have done it, Monsieur Howard, I would not permit it. It is a thing that I must do myself. Myself alone. Nobody else.
Mademoiselle, I appreciate this, even if I don't understand it.
It would be just a year ago, wouldn't it? That month in Zamora. But a long, long year. And a sad one.
Yes, it's all quite hard to realize. Every now and then I feel that it's all a dream. And presently we'll all wake up. And perhaps John will walk in and we'll sit and talk together again.
Yes, I know.
Took 3 to bring him down, you know. You remember him kindly, don't you?
Yes. Yes, him. His letters. And our only visit together in Paris.
You saw him in Paris?
Once. Just once for 3 days. It was just before the invasion. We had a beautiful 3 days.
Well, I had no idea of that.
No. We told nobody. In time we would have, I suppose. We planned to anyway. Then he went back. And I waited to hear from him. You know, it's funny. You wait and wait day after day. You wait for a letter. And then it comes. But it isn't from him. It's from his squadron. So for a long time you don't open it. You sit there and hold it in your hand, wishing you need never open it. Because you know that a letter from his squadron, from a friend, can have but one thing to tell. And then at last you do open it.
My dear child.
And after that, the whole world is darker than it was before.
Nicole's loss had been as great as mine, and I understood then why she had come with us. We went to a little town near the Channel, to the home of Nicole's uncle. With the children off to bed, he listened to our story, smoking his pipe, nodding quietly.
And what do you propose now, Nicole?
You have fishing boats, Uncle. You know young men who are not afraid. Can't you find one who will take Monsieur Howard and the children across the Channel?
I'm quite prepared to pay, you understand?
And what is the price of a man's life, monsieur?
Oh, but, Uncle, they are little children. They must not be left here. Our country is no longer a place for children.
Our country? Our country is no longer our country. You do not know, Nicole. You have not begun to learn what it is to live under the Boche. How do I know I can trust this man? How do I know this is not a trap?
But I know him, Uncle. I know him very, very well.
How do I know I can trust you?
Oh, but, Uncle...
How do you know you can trust me?
Oh, I refuse even to think such a thing.
Under the Boche, child, that is what happens.
As I have said before, I have no wish to involve anyone else in my own personal problems. I shall, of course, leave the house.
No, please. Let me think about it, monsieur. Perhaps tomorrow... Listen.
What?
Do you hear? That is a raid on Brest. It's the harbor. They're after the ships.
Why, those filthy...
No, monsieur. That's a British raid. Those are British planes.
British?
That's it. They're after Hitler. That was the report in Brest today, that he was there inspecting the invasion fleet.
Well, after Mr. Schnickelgruber, eh? Well...
Howard, what is it? Parade?
I should say it is. Those are British planes, Sheila. The RAF.
Our planes.
Yes, I've got to get a look at this, by George. Yes, there they are, see? Bang! That's it, boys. Bang! Hit 'em again. Bang! Bang! By George, this is the greatest thing I ever saw in my life. Bang! It was late that night when Nicole's uncle came to my room.
I found the man and made all the arrangements. His name is Roquet, and his boat is at a fishing village just 10 kilometers from here. You and Nicole will meet him tomorrow in a cafe near the docks. Nicole knows the...
Rocky. Monsieur Rocky.
Nicole. Ah, qui diable faites-vous ici?
Mon grand-père, Monsieur Howard. Monsieur Howard ne comprend pas le français.
All is all right. You have the boat? The boat. It is by the bottom of the lighthouse. You understand? Yes. From the outside of the cafe, you will see the lighthouse to the right. You understand?
Yes. When do we start?
Tonight. Now. The sooner, the better. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, Nicole. Bonsoir, grand-père.
Bonsoir, Monsieur Rocky. That is the lighthouse, monsieur. And that is the boat.
Shh, Sheila, quiet.
Stop here. Rocky.
Here. This way.
Well, I suppose this is goodbye.
Bon voyage, monsieur.
My child, won't you come with us to England?
No, monsieur. I'm not English. I'm French. And you have told me yourself that in time of trouble, you should stay in your own country and do what you can to help. This is where I belong.
Afterward?
Yes. Afterward I shall come.
Well, goodbye, my child.
Goodbye, monsieur.
Halt there! Up!
Mr. Howard.
Steigen Sie in das Boot. Greifen Sie den Mann. Ja, Leutnant.
They're Germans, soldiers.
So you were leaving us, eh? You're English, yes?
I am
Well?
English. I am English. This young lady is not. She is French.
You will come with me, all of you.
But I tell
You
you
will
that she...
come with me. Hey, this is here. Here's the Honda, Herr Leutnant. Ah, the boatman. You're English also, eh?
I am French. Vous me faites pas pour cette poche.
Schweige! Ah, monsieur, you'll come this way. Please.
Mr. Howard, they've really got us, haven't they?
Well, it rather looks that way, Sheila. Pierre. Pierre.
Les Allemands, les Allemands, les Allemands, les Allemands.
In a few moments, Mr. DeMille and our stars will return in Act 3 of The Pied Piper. And now, a tired businessman, a really tired businessman, is being reminded of a promise.
I'm so glad you got home a little early, dear. We promised the Sloanes we'd go with them to that political meeting tonight.
Oh, say, Mary, do we have to go to that? It's been an awful day. I'm fagged out.
We'll wait and see how you feel after dinner. It's time for a shower if you want one, Jim. I just put fresh towels and soap in the bathroom.
On the road to Mandalay. Ah, boy, this soap sure knows how to lather. Where the flying fishes play, and the dawn comes up like thunder.
Why, Jim, you're all dressed up. That's a new tie.
Well, we're going out, aren't we? Say, Mary, when do we eat? You know, that shower kind of pepped me up.
I thought it would. A Lux soap bath always does the trick for me.
There's nothing like a refreshing Lux toilet soap bath to cure that all-in, end-of-the-day feeling. And you're sure to make a hit with the men folks in your family if you put fine white Lux toilet soap in the shower or tub. A man likes the rich, creamy lather, the way it carries away dust and grime in a jiffy. Even in hard water, Lux soap gives quick, abundant lather. Lux, you see, is a quality soap, made only of the finest ingredients. But the whole family can enjoy it as a luxurious bath soap because it's thrifty to use. Lux toilet soap is hard milled. It doesn't get mushy or soft. Each smooth white cake can be used to the last thin sliver. Why not put Lux toilet soap on your shopping list tomorrow? And now, Mr. DeMille returns to the microphone.
After the play, we'll have an answer to the burning question of the evening, as propounded to Frank Morgan by one of his leading ladies, Margaret O'Brien. It's a little personal, but I think you'll be allowed to listen in. Now here's the third act of The Pied Piper, starring Frank Morgan as Mr. Howard, Margaret O'Brien as Sheila, and Senior Hasso as Nicole. The land of hope lay just across the channel, a few miles of water between refuge and despair. But Mr. Howard and the children were on the wrong side.
They brought us to a house in the town, the headquarters of the Gestapo. The children and Nicole and Roquet and I. They took us before a major who sat smiling at us from behind his desk.
Very touching, yes. A lovely group of children, Mynheer. I suppose you know that Charenton has been arrested.
I haven't the foggiest idea what you're talking about.
Nor have you ever heard of Major Cochrane, I suppose, of Room 212 Army Intelligence in the War Office in London?
No.
Oh, your memory obviously needs freshening. So, an English gentleman traveling across France with 5 children, anxious only to get back home. A pretty and most disarming device.
It happens to be the truth.
Such a story would not deceive a child. What were you doing in France in the first place?
Fishing.
What sort of fish? Quickly?
Blue trout. Sometimes you get a grayling, but not often.
Tackle? Quickly?
Aren't you being a trifle silly?
Answer me. What tackle? Flies?
Well, a dark olive gets them as well as anything, or a large blue dun, although personally I detest it.
Who are these children? Where did you get them?
The 2 English children belong to friends of mine. The others are...
You insist on that absurd story?
You asked for the truth, didn't you?
Yes, and I shall get it. You see, we know who sent the information to the English of the Führer's visit to the fleet at Brest. We know who caused that raid. You and Charenton. What we do not know, and what you shall tell us, is how that message was passed through to England. That is what you are going to tell us, Mr. Englishman. And as soon as it is told, the pain will stop. Not before. Take them away.
This way.
I say, one question, please. Did they get him?
Get whom?
Hitler.
Of course not.
Oh, that's too bad. They took us out of the room, and then they brought me alone to another room down the hall and left me. There was a man sitting there.
Asseyez-vous, soyez comme chez vous.
I'm afraid you have the advantage of me, sir.
No, I'm English too, half at any rate.
English? Well, what are you doing here?
Waiting to be shot.
Oh, you're Charenton.
You've heard of me.
I'm supposed to be mixed up with you in some way. That raid on the ships.
Too bad we didn't get the little beggar. But I bet we scared him out of his panzers.
You mean you were responsible for that, really?
I helped. They caught me, so there's no point in denying it. Only I wish they'd stop throwing innocent people in this room with me on the theory that they're going to convict themselves in some fashion. Really, I look for better things from you, Major Deason. More ingenious. Nothing as childlike as this.
I say, are you feeling all right?
All right. I'm assuming, of course, that there's a microphone in this room somewhere.
Oh.
They're listening to us right now. You're wasting your time, Major. This man knows nothing about my affairs. But I will tell you this. The English will be back here, and the Americans, too. And I warn you, they'll not be as gentle as they were after the last war. They'll deal with you this time as they would with vermin. And as for you, Major, if you kill this old man, I can assure you that you will be hanged publicly, and your body left to rot on the scaffold as a warning to your other murderers. That ought to hold him.
You're a very rash young man.
Well, I'm in for it anyway. At least I can get a bit of satisfaction out of it.
Major had evidently heard enough. A few minutes later, he sent for me again.
We're growing a little bored with your friend Charandon.
Really? If I were in your place, I would not dismiss what he says too lightly.
Come here. Look out of the window there. Very pleasant garden, isn't it?
Very.
That is where your friend Mr. Charandon is going to die in just a few minutes, unless you decide to help him.
I know nothing whatever of his work or how he went about it. Nor if I knew would I tell you.
You would live. He would live. If you are sensible.
But I have nothing to tell you.
Look, they're bringing him out. You see? It's a very little things I ask. Tell me how he got the information out of France, and I'll stop his execution.
I have told you truthfully, I do not know.
You haven't much time. Think about it again. Nobody would ever know. Promise you.
Can't you understand? I know nothing.
As you wish. Just a few seconds now. Are you going to tell me?
Yes.
Well? Too late, I'm afraid. It's pity, hmm? Come to the window. Wouldn't you like to see what you've done?
Swine. Foul, filthy swine.
Sit down. You puzzle me, really. If you are a spy, you're at least a very clever one. What do you intend to do with these children?
What?
These children, what did you plan to do with them?
I don't know. I hadn't thought. Send them to America, I suppose.
America? Why America?
Well, I have a married daughter who lives in a district called Long Island. She would have made a home for them until the war was over.
Are you seriously asking me to believe that a woman in America would make a home in her own house for 5 dirty little children that you picked up?
I am no longer interested in what you believe. Listen to me. I'll confess anything you wish, if only you'll let them go. And Mademoiselle, too. If you'll do that, I'll confess to anything you say.
It's impossible. I simply do not know what to make of you. I can only say that you must be a very brave man to make such an offer.
No, not brave. Just old. The Major was not finished with me yet. The next day, I saw him again.
I do not believe one word of your story about these children, particularly about your plan to send them to America.
I'll say anything you wish if you'll only let them go.
Oh, well, what about the Jewish child?
Jewish? Which Jewish child?
The dark one.
Is he Jewish? It didn't occur to me to ask.
But in America, would they accept a Jewish child?
I don't believe that they would turn down any child, even a German.
Even a German? Are you positive of that?
Yes.
Mr. Howard, how would you like to continue your trip to England?
Not without the children.
And Mademoiselle?
No, she wants to stay here.
That is what we want, too.
Splendid.
But if I were to let you go to England with the children, would you be grateful enough to do me a small service?
That would depend upon what it was.
With a certain person to be taken to America. I don't want to advertise our journey, but...
If you think for 1 second that I would introduce a German agent into America, you're an even greater fool than I...
Remain seated, please. Oh, she could hardly act as an agent. She's only 5 years old.
5?
Yes. Now, listen carefully. This little girl is my niece. Her father, my younger brother, is dead. And her mother, we learned later, was not wholly Aryan, so we were compelled to dispose of her. But the unfortunate problem of the child remains. Half Aryan, half Jewish. Although she happens to be a sweet child, and I would feel better if she were with my older brother in the United States. He's an American citizen.
She would be safer, you mean?
If you wish. His name is Rupert Deason. He now has a business, a grocery, in a city named Rochester, in New York State. Is the rest?
City?
The city of Rochester, New York.
Are you positive?
Of course I'm positive. What are you talking about? Have you not ever heard of it?
Heard of it? Yes, of course, certainly. I've heard of it.
Oh, so. His address is 600 North 3rd Street, and that is where I want her to go. Meanwhile, Mademoiselle may return to her home in Chartres.
And no harm will come to her.
Not unless you are foolish enough to tell anyone of this arrangement.
Very well. I should be very glad to take the child and see that she is delivered to her uncle.
What is your address in London? I shall send for you when we arrive there.
42 Curzon Street. Yours, I assume, will be a cell in the Tower of London. We were released that night, all of us. Roquet had the boat ready, and we stood lined up on the deck waiting for the little girl we were to take with us. She arrived with the Major, a tiny child carrying a doll in her arms.
Oh, this must be Anna. How do you do, Anna?
How do you do, Anna?
Heil Hitler.
Oh, children, stop. Stop it immediately. Major Disney, hadn't you better explain to Anna that from now on that salute will be out of place?
Very well. Anna, von nun an brauchst du nicht mehr Heil Hitler zu sagen. Du kommst unter Menschen, die das nicht verstehen.
Nicht mehr? Gut.
Get aboard. I want to see you get away. All of you, get aboard.
Well, goodbye, Nicole.
Goodbye.
All of this I know you have done for my boy, and for him I thank you.
Some for him. Some for you, too. You know, once I thought I could never be another man as fine and as brave as your son. But I was wrong. And it wasn't all for you either. It was for the children. Somehow they represent hope for the future. You are the past, I'm the present, they are the future. So we must take very, very good care of them.
I have not all night, please.
Au revoir, my dear. You'll come to see me when it's all over, and we'll talk about John.
Oh, yes.
One more thing, the Englishman. There must be no trickery. If one word of this appears, it will be the concentration camp for your young lady. Remember that.
And if anything happens to my young lady and I hear of it, this whole story will be in the papers on the shortwave radio, mentioning you by name. And you remember that.
You dare to threaten me?
You dared threaten me, didn't you?
Well, go.
Yeah.
Go.
Au revoir, monsieur. Good luck and happiness.
Au revoir, Nicole.
Au revoir.
Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir.
Well, we're on our way, children. I think you'd better all go below and see if you can't get some sleep.
Do we have to take off our clothes tonight?
No, you may sleep with them on tonight.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night, my dear. Good night, little Anna. We're all friends now.
Gute Nacht, Herr Howard.
Oh, Sheila,
Yes, sir.
there's a little matter I think I ought to clear up with you. You remember our little discussion regarding Rochester?
Oh, yes, sir. But I told you.
I know, but it seems that we were both wrong.
Really?
Yes. Happened to be talking it over with a fellow the other night. Fellow knew all about it. It's not a state at all. It's a city. A city in New York State.
Oh, well, now, isn't that funny that we both made that mistake?
Yes. You're really a very extraordinary girl, Sheila. I'm very fond of you, and I apologize to you. We reached the English coast the next morning, and in 2 weeks I had seen them all off to America. That was 4 years ago. I've been in government work since then. I knit. I hear from the children quite often. Just yesterday I had 6 birthday cards. 6 cards in round, childish hand, wishing me joy for the coming year. I wish them joy, too. Joy for the coming year and for all the years that they shall know and I shall not. For this is what we are fighting for, and this is our prayer, that there shall be a future full of years for children of every land and of every creed, that they shall know joy and laughter and bright new world. Sheila may have gone to considerable trouble in sending me her card. It was postmarked Rochester, New York. Really an amazing child.
And now our stars, Frank Morgan, Margaret O'Brien, and Senior Hassel, come to the footlights to receive our thanks and to help answer a question that I'm sure has been on all our minds. Tell me, Frank, are you preparing to lose an election bet?
Election bet? Certainly not. Not honestly. I mean, honestly not.
I might report that Mr. Morgan brings to our footlights the most luxurious chin foliage ever seen on the stage of the Lux Radio Theatre.
Well, thank you, C.B. I didn't think you'd notice it. Well, it's for a picture I'm making.
I'm surprised you can talk through it.
Well, I might say, Margaret, that Mr. Morgan can not only talk through it, but down on his ranch, he's one of the best hog callers in the county.
Well, thank you, C.B.
Can you really call hogs, Mr. Morgan?
Miss Hasso, when I call hogs, they come running with apples in their mouths, all set for roasting. Would you like to hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Look at his whiskers wiggle.
Quiet, please. You'll miss the delicate inflections. Now. Suey, 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 suey. Suey pig, pig. Yeah. So convincing, I almost thought I heard the patter of their tiny feet. Do you think you could do it, Margaret?
I'll try.
Oh, go ahead, Margaret, please.
Suey, suey,
My word, they're coming. Look out, everybody.
You see, Frank, Margaret's quite a versatile actress. She can even go you one better on hog calling.
Can you call hogs?
No, Margaret, I can't. Not in English, only in Swedish.
Well, Miss Hasso is a very distinguished actress, Margaret. She's won every award for acting that Sweden offers. And she's appearing now in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer picture, The Seventh Cross.
You know, C.B., George G. Nathan calls Miss Hasso the most attractive new foreign actress in America.
Well, you only have to see the story of Dr. Wassel to know that. And you know one of the reasons for that attractiveness, Frank?
I know. Lux toilet soap.
Well, you are awfully kind. But it is true now that I've used Lux toilet soap ever since I came to America.
Same here.
You used Lux toilet soap ever since you came to America, Margaret?
Except when I forgot to wash.
Well, I'm sure that can't be often, Margaret, judging from the memory you've shown here tonight.
Can you plumb your memory and tell us what's on Lux next Monday night, C.B.?
Next week we're going to bring you a 20th Century Fox hit that will leave you, gasping. It's that extraordinary play, The Lodger, starring Laird Crager and Ida Lupino. If you know the story, that weird, fascinating study of a man bent on the murder of a beautiful woman, you can imagine the thrills and action and suspense you're in for next Monday night.
Sounds like November 13th is a lucky number, C.B. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night. Your hog calling certainly brought home the bacon. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theatre presents Ida Lupino and Laird Crager in The Lodger. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Here's an important reminder from your local post office. Christmas mailing this year is expected to top the 1943 holiday volume by 25%, with, of course, fewer employees to handle this terrific burden. So if you want to be sure that your gifts reach their destination on time, mail them during this coming month, no later than December 1st. The Pied Piper was presented through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox. Heard in tonight's play were Noreen Gamil, Tommy Cook, Vernon Steele, Eric Snowden, Kathy Lewis, Norman Field, Jay Novello, Charlie Seal, Alec Harford, Janet DeLuce, Yvette Dugay, Leo Cleary, Joel Davis, Mickey Kuhn, Ramsey Hill, and Norman Nilsson. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. This program is broadcast to our fighting forces overseas through cooperation with the Armed Forces Radio Service. And this is your announcer, John M. Kennedy, reminding you to tune in again next Monday night to hear The Lodger with Laird Kriegar and Ida Lupino.
All right, Harvey, that was pretty darn cool, and especially to hear the rehearsal aspects of it.
You know, I never listened to that.
You never listened to it. Well, okay.
I never got around to listen. I mean, I dubbed it, but I guess I would probably go away for 11 to 12 minutes, come back, cue up the second side, and away I went.
Okay, well, you can hear it again now, and everybody else can hear it.
That was nice. I planned to.
Good.
Again.
All right. Okay, so you had some time in the PPB archives. You got these wonderful Lux Radio Theaters. You met Jay Novello. You got an I Love a Mystery transcription disc from him. You went on the radio as Cousin Zeno, and then you became Harvey Tow. So why don't you tell us the rest of your foray into playing radio shows on Los Angeles radio?
Yeah. Before I forget, that broadcast date wasn't broadcast. The rehearsal date was November 5th, 44. Obviously, the broadcast was the 6th.
Okay, good. We got that clear.
Yeah. Anyway, I wound up at KCSN in Northridge. It's an NPR station. I got a call from Kevin Stern.
Yep, I knew him.
Yeah. Kevin was doing a show called Don't Touch That Dial.
That's right.
And it was on Thursdays, and I used to listen, and I also used to listen to him mess up the names and the dates. So apparently Kevin was not a collector, nor did he know anything much about old radio.
He was just in charge of playing it over Los Angeles radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I said, I remember him mispronouncing the actors' names. But anyway, I knew Kevin, and one day he gave me a call. He says, "Look, I'm going to go on vacation for a couple of weeks. Would you like to sit in?" I said, "Sure. What a great, that'll be fun." And I sat in from 1976 to 1983.
Okay.
just a short sit-in.
And then what happened after that?
Oh, the station changed format, and everybody went away.
Okay, that's typical.
I don't know. Did they keep the Sunday Don't Touch That Dial? I don't think so.
I know that was Bob Lyons and Barbara Sunday at that point, I think, and they were bouncing all over multiple radio stations in Southern California. So I'm not really sure, but I'm sure Bob Lyons and Barbara Sunday are going to be listening to this, so maybe they'll make a correction for us.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But so I had a lot of fun at that station. I did whatever I wanted. One time I got a letter from the Michelson people, Charles Michelson.
Oh, yeah. Let's explain who Charles Michelson was. Go ahead.
No, you explain.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay. Charles Michelson was not a particularly nice individual. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be as gentle as I can with this. A rather nasty old guy who had purchased rights to a number of radio programs, including The Shadow and The Green Hornet and some of the other things. And he was attempting to sell them across the country he started way early, but I mean, by the 70s, he was still attempting to sell them to various radio stations for rebroadcast. And he wasn't particularly offering them at any kind of bargain rate. He was asking a lot of money. And he looked at anybody who was playing old-time radio shows that were not his and were not under his control as some kind of competition that needed to be squashed. So he was not particularly happy with these people other than him trying to offer old-time radio shows to different markets across the country. Now, that's my version of Charles Michelson. Do you have a different one?
Not at all, man. I was one of...
I was nice, wasn't I?
I was one of the recipients of a letter from him.
And what did the letter say?
Stop.
Stop. Right now. Get off the radio, you bum, right? In nicer or less nice language.
He sent me a letter telling me to cease and desist of playing of all and any of the radio shows that he owns. And so, of course, I naturally did not. Management came to me and said, "What do you think?" And I says, "Hey, we're a small little radio station. He's not going to do a thing. And I like the Shadow. I like the Green Hornet. And I'm going to play." I said, "As a matter of fact, I'm going to look at more on his list, and I'll start playing those."
A man after my own heart. Okay. All right.
So I did. And I never heard from him again.
Yeah, well, he was more bluster than he really was follow through, but there was a lot of bluster there going around in the 70s.
So I did my show on Thursday nights. Originally, I was on from like 10 at night to 1 in the morning. And I thought, wait a minute, nobody's listening to me except for tape recorders. So I went to management and said, how about if I got a 3-hour slot, how about, I think it was from 8 till 11. I said, it's prime time and people will listen and I won't be talking to that many tape recorders. And so they gave me that slot. And I was told later on, after a survey went out, that I had the most popular show at KCSN.
Yeah, well, that's great.
They loved they love radio.
Yep.
Do you remember on KMPC Clark Race?
Yes, I don't know that I listened to him very much, but I know the name.
Yeah, he was midnight to 6.
Okay, that's probably why I was too young to stay up till midnight.
Yeah. And I used to work late at night on my drawing board doing freelance work, and I used to listen to his show. And one day he mentioned that he wanted, he's going to play an old radio show. And of course, immediately my hair stood up. And I thought, so I don't remember what he played. But he says, boy, I sure wish I had more of these. I said, that's it. So anyway, long story short, I contacted him. He invited me down to the station. This was about 1972, I think. And anyway, so I armed myself with a few tapes. And we talked about old radio, of course. As I was driving home, like about 2 in the morning, I could hear one of the tapes he put on of one of the shows I had given him. He invited me back a couple of weeks later to meet with Brett Morrison.
Oh, wow. You got to meet your hero, the Shadow.
Yeah. I got his... Leo the Lion Records put out a radio recording that was not old, but it was redone on the Shadow, among other stuff. So I brought that with me, and Morrison, he autographed it for me. I met his son, Edward, and I asked Edward, I says, what do you have? And so he says, I'll send you whatever we have, which he did, via UPS, I think. I think there was only about a half dozen reels, some Shadows and some other stuff. So I dubbed them and sent them back, and we stayed in touch for a little while. But that was my big thrill, meeting the Shadow.
You never got to meet Orson Welles, right?
No.
Because he did. I didn't either, but he did turn up at some of the early PPB luncheons, Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters luncheons. Yes, he did.
Probably not. I met Bill Conrad at my gym.
Well, okay, Matt Dillon was at your gym. Okay,
you're going to love this.
All right.
This is when Jake and the Fat Man. I don't know if it had come up yet, but he walked. I guess the people, the studio people, told him you got to get in shape. So
good luck with that.
Yeah, he and his stunt double, or his double, who looked a lot like him, by the way, came into the gym, and I spotted him immediately. And I went. I just went over to him and introduced myself. And I heard later on that he did not like talking about radio and much about his past.
No,
but
I also am aware of that. Yeah, he was not big on reminiscing about that.
But he loosened up a little bit, and we talked. And I didn't ask him if he had anything because I had a ton of stuff on him. This was also in the 70s. And he looked at me and said, "There's one show I'm very proud of. Would you happen to have it?" I said, "What would that be?" He says, "The Waxwork." I said, "I do have it. Matter of fact, I got it off one of the tapes down at PPB. So it was a good, clean recording." And I says, "I'll make a cassette for you if you want it." He says, "Love it." I says, "Should I leave it here or should I mail it to your business manager or something?" He says, "Just leave it here. I'll pick it up." I think it's still sitting there.
Okay. Is that the same Waxworks that Claude Rains did?
I don't know what Claude Rains did.
Well,
did he do it?
Yeah, it's 1947. It was an episode of Suspense called The Waxworks, and it had been missing forever. It's one of the missing Suspense shows. And we were going through some boxes of my transcription discs, and we've found part 1 so far. I don't know if I have part 2. I wasn't even aware particularly that it was a missing show. But anyway, if we can find part 2, we're going to play that one on the podcast as well.
No, I don't have that. I've got the Waxwork with Conrad from 1956, and I've got another one with Herbert Marshall from 1959.
Okay, well, those are the later versions of it.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was the same script. I don't know. Yeah. I'd have to compare them.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Well, Claude Rains apparently did it first in 1947.
I'd love to hear that.
Oh, well, I would too, and we're hoping we find part 2. I mean, I guess we can always play part 1 as a big tease for people, but that's all I have so far.
Yeah, but I like I said earlier, I met a lot of radio. Oh, do you remember Space Patrol?
Well, I don't remember it, but I know what it was.
Well, I mean, they did it on radio and then they went to television.
Right.
It was pretty much, it wasn't national, it was pretty much West Coast thing. Anyway, I met Ken Mayer one time, who played Robbie Robertson, one of the leading characters.
Okay.
And I talked with him, and he didn't have a thing. So I made up about a half dozen cassettes for him, and he came over to my house to pick them up. I wish I had the presence of mind back then to have a picture taken of the two of us, but I did get his business card, which I still have.
Well, I should remind the people listening to all of this that while it is true that you could, living in and around Los Angeles area back in the 70s, you could meet a lot of these radio and early TV people. They were there, and some of them did have some examples and some recordings here and there. Most of them didn't have anything. Most of them didn't save a thing. And so it's always nice, and it was always nice back then, to be able to provide the performers with recordings of their shows when they didn't keep them over the years. Because to them, it was just a job you did one day and a job you did the next day, and they didn't think there would ever be any reason to listen to them again or keep recordings of them, so they didn't. But some did, and that's the ones we're most grateful for, because now we get to hear them again.
Yeah. one more quick little story if we have time.
We have time. Go ahead.
Okay. I was working doing I was doing advertising, designing the ads for this little stereo company in Studio City. And one day I went downstairs and I saw Roddy McDowall walk by.
In his ape costume?
Yeah. And let me back up. A good friend of mine, a good friend of mine was one of the makeup artists on the Planet of the Apes.
Okay, that's why I made that joke, by the way. Younger people may not have gotten it.
And he told me he was working on Roddy McDowall. Okay. I says, wait a minute. I've got a suspense with Roddy McDowall. And they listened to, in the makeup trailer, they listened to whatever on radio or tape. So I gave my friend Ken, the makeup man, a cassette of the Roddy McDowall show, and I can't remember the name of it offhand. But anyway, so I said, just put it in the player and hit play, and tell me when the next time we meet what his reaction was.
Okay.
And so, according to Ken, McDowell's eyes got real wide and looked at Ken and says, "Where did you get this?" And he told him. And so when I saw McDowall on the sidewalk, I says, "Do you remember the tape your makeup man played of you on Suspense?" He goes, "Yes." I says, "I'm the guy who supplied it." And he gave me a hug.
You got hugged by the ape. Okay, good.
Yeah, the Suspense show was One Way Street from January 23rd, 47, with Roddy McDowall.
Okay, we might dig that one out and give it a spin here on the Good Old Days of Radio show at some point in the future, because it'd be interesting. We could talk about Roddy McDowall being all the things he did later that people would recognize. Well, I'm going to distract you with one thing. You sent me a newspaper article from Greensboro newspaper where you're living now.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
in that newspaper article, there's a picture of you with Steve McQueen. How'd that all come about?
Well, on my wild side.
Oh, there is one? Okay.
I used to race motorcycles in the desert.
Oh.
And I had a desert motorcycle, and I had a street machine. And at one of the venues that I used to go to regularly, it was a monthly thing, McQueen started showing up. And at that time, I was art director of Modern Cycle magazine. I think it's still in publication. This would be about 1975, 76, in that area. And I was sitting on the back of my pickup truck one time between races, and McQueen walked over to me, and I had my head turned to the left, and I was on the tailgate of my truck, and all of a sudden I felt a weight next to me, sitting, and I look, and it's McQueen.
Okay.
I go, hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Bullet, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and he says, I like your boots.
Oh.
So we got to talking, and he asked me where I got them, and I told him, I said, look, I'm art director of Modern Cycle magazine, and let me give me a number. I'll turn the rep over to you, and you can talk to him from there. And I don't know if it worked out, but after that, it was, like I said, it was a monthly venue. Every time he'd see me, he'd walk over and we'd start talking. As we were walking somewhere, and the photographer stopped, he says, can we take a picture? And I thought he just wanted a picture of Steve. And he says, no, you too.
Okay. Well, that's
okay,
a nice memento to have, of course.
Yeah. Aside from the desert, I saw one time after that, I was riding in my Street Triumph, and there was a place in, not Benedict Canyon, one of the canyons, where there was a kind of a hamburger joint, a bar, the Four Oaks Cafe. It was in Beverly Glen.
Okay.
Now it's a high-end restaurant called Cafe Four Oaks or something. Anyway, so McQueen was, happened to be there having lunch. And I walked in and he goes, "Hey!" He never knew my name.
He just knew you as, "Hey!"
No, I think at one time he called me Howard. Close enough.
Okay.
So that was the last. He looked at my bike, and it was painted and striped by the master Von Dutch, and he liked that. So that was probably the last time I saw him.
Okay. Well, I just thought that would be an interesting little aside to throw in here.
Yeah.
And your favorites are what?
Oh, my favorite show is
I
still
heard The
Nostalgic.
Shadow, but what else?
Yeah. The Mysterious Traveler, The Whistler. I went for the dramas, the mysteries more than anything else. What's the one with Dick? Oh, Richard Diamond is a favorite of mine. Sam Spade, of course. All the Dragnet I like that. The radio Dragnets.
Right.
Later on, of course, television.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you with a little tease for you and for our listeners. We just received 2 never-before circulated Sam Spade radio shows direct from transcription, and we're going to feature those in a very soon upcoming Good Old Days of Radio Show podcast.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. Now I'll have to figure a way of recording you.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I just do the show. But yeah, they will be there. And producer Daniel, who heard at least one of the 2, said it was one of the best episodes he had ever heard. So look forward to hearing that one for the audience.
Yeah, I think I have most of that already in circulation.
Yeah, well, these 2 are not. I guess they will be once I play them on the podcast, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's very good of you, John.
Well, you got to do something with this stuff, otherwise it just sits in a warehouse, and there's a lot of stuff sitting in a warehouse, but we're working through it, slowly trying to get things organized and figure out exactly what's here. And if you notice, every once in a while, we've been actually taking a disc and putting it on the turntable and playing it kind of live on the podcast. So.
Yeah. Because I listen to you, obviously.
I know you do. You send me very nice comments. It's very nice.
Yeah. So it's nice. What was the one I last was the Whistler? I think you played that I had not heard before.
Oh, the one we did right off the discs.
Yeah.
It's called Perfect Alibi. And I don't know if that was circulating around or not. I just know I had a nice radio recorder's master disc, and it was in beautiful shape, so we did it.
Yeah, I do have it, but it's not in very good condition.
Well,
it's listenable, but that's about it.
Well, if you can figure out how to download from the podcast, you can have it in nice, sparkling, crystal clear sound.
I am clicking away as we speak.
Okay. All right. So you walked away from radio in Los Angeles in about 1983, is that right?
1983. That was the last time I was on the air. Yeah.
Okay. And then you did what after that?
Nothing.
You moved to Greensboro.
Yeah. That was 21 years ago we moved here.
Okay. And what made you flee Los Angeles for Greensboro, as I have fled Los Angeles for Grants Pass, Oregon?
Yeah, probably for pretty much the same reasons you moved. Population had increased a lot. Hence the traffic on the freeways, the city streets, and it just wasn't the LA that I grew up in.
Right.
I lived in the 40s. We lived in Los Angeles proper, and in the 50s, late 40s, we moved to Van Nuys and settled in the San Fernando Valley. And pretty much the last place where my wife and I lived was Santa Monica.
Okay.
That was only for about 3 years. And then my brother-in-law and his wife lived here in Greensboro, and we visited one time, and I fell in love with the place. My wife had been here several times. Long story short, we moved here 21 years ago, and I'm having a great time here.
Great.
No In-N-Out burgers, but I love the place.
No, well, it might get In-N-Out burgers there eventually. They are expanding across the USA.
The closest one I heard was in Nashville.
Well, you got a little bit of a drive for a burger there, but okay.
Just a little.
Well, I just thought it would be a fun thing to sit around here for a little while and reminisce with you about Los Angeles radio. And I'm kind of been plotting the idea here of bringing on a number of the people who played vintage radio shows in Los Angeles, because that's where I was. I can't do it for other parts of the country, but the people from L.A. I know, to bring them on and have them talk about that, because even though that was not that long ago to me, it kind of really was. It's not as far back as the vintage radio shows themselves, but it shows the staying power of those programs, because it started out, they all went off the air in the early 60s, but by the late 60s, early 70s, they were coming right back on in reruns and rebroadcasts from people like you. Well, Harvey, thank you so much for appearing here on the Good Old Days of Radio show with me today. It's been a blast reviewing the past, so to speak. And I'm glad to count you as one of my listeners and one of the people who inspired me years ago to even think about doing something like this now. What?
Don't forget one of your friends.
Ken?
No.
Oh.
Me.
Oh, you. Oh. I thought you were talking about somebody else. Well, you. Yes, of course. I don't forget you.
Well,
I thought you were referring to Ken Greenwald.
When I first met you, you were a teenager.
That's right. That's
right. And I don't think I've seen you since.
No, because we left Oregon in 1987, and I was hanging around Spurdvac and Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters until that point. But no, I haven't. I've been back many times. Have you been back to see how much more traffic there is in Los Angeles since you left?
I was there 10 or 11 years ago.
Oh, well, try last year and imagine what it's like.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, well, we're here to at least remind the listeners of a time when it wasn't quite so bad.
That's true.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, John, it's been an honor. I'm surprised that you chose to talk with me, and I'm glad you did.
Why not? You're one of the voices from my past, so.
Well, I'll continue to be your past voice.
Okay. All right. And whenever I get near Greensboro, North Carolina, you are going to get a call.
Yeah, tell Joe Webb if he ever gets close to Greensboro to let me know.
Okay. Well, I'll be talking to him in a week or so. Okay.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Cool.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for appearing here, and thank you so much for saving those Lux Radio Theatre transcriptions from the garbage can. That's always my favorite stories to hear, as they got saved before they were about to be thrown away. So thank you for doing that and for allowing us to play one on the Good Old Days of Radio show today.
Hey, John, it's been my pleasure. It has.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Harvey, and keep on listening, and we will meet you somewhere someday soon.
I should hope so. And say hello to Daniel for me.
All right. And did you have a sign-off back when you signed off your show?
Yeah, I used to play that Ben Birdie tune, Au Revoir.
Okay. Did you ever say anything special at the end of each show?
Yeah, I used to jump in and, yeah.
And what did you say so we can put it on here?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Okay. Well, I thought we could try.
If maybe I have the carts here. I still have my cartridges.
Oh.
And I have the outro. And if I had a machine, I could play it for you, but I don't.
I was going to say, you could send us that and we could put it on. But okay, you don't have a cart machine. Yeah, well, we don't have a cart machine here either. I have more modern broadcast equipment here. But okay. All right. Thanks for appearing on the Good Old Days of Radio show, Mr. Harvey Tow, also known to me and other listeners in Southern California as Cousin Zeno. Thanks again, Harvey.
Thank you, John. I'll be listening.
Bye.